Good evening. You're watching the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canada International. Gladys Ambojibang is my name. We begin with the headlines. Gendarme officers stationed at the Mevulu post in the Yaoundé 2 subdivision have successfully intercepted a substantial quantity of forged currency during a targeted operation carried out on September 26. The suspect authorities have since intensified inquiries to dismantle the broader network behind the illicit operation. And the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanga Nji, has called on the population of the Northwest region, particularly residents of Bamenda, to reject ghost towns and lockdowns, describing them as significant obstacles to social and economic progress. Part of his official working visit to the Northwest region. And in preparation for the upcoming presidential election scheduled for October 12, Elections Cameroon has introduced a tactile ballot guide to facilitate independent voting for the visually impaired. Recognizing the importance of voter autonomy, ELECAM officials organized a training session in Yaoundé today aimed at familiarizing visually impaired citizens with the use of tactile device. Those were major stories. Stay on for developments. And YouTube. We begin with this human two have dismantled a network of criminals involved in the circulation of fake banknotes across the country. The investigation or this enables investigations to follow up those who were also apprehended or for the apprehension of the suspects. Authorities have since intensified the inquiries to dismantle the broader network behind the illicit activity. Let's have the details with Aisentia.
This latest operation by the Mevulu Gendarmerie of Yaoundé 2 last September 26th on fake CFA banknotes comes after that of fake coins at the Ligejon neighborhood last May, fake Australian dollars and euros at BMRC. The dealer was caught in possession of 15 fake 2,000 banknotes, 33 fake 1,000 notes, and 36 counterfeit banknotes of 500 francs CFA. The culprit was caught alongside the booty. The hierarchy was informed. Investigation was opened to identify the network and accomplices involved in the business. For those caught alone, the gendarmes came to realize it is a gang spread out, some in Douala and others in Yaoundé. The operation is the fallout of repeated complaints by the population of the circulation of fake banknotes, as many have been victims of the criminal act. The rate at which these illegal criminal businesses are gaining ground, a call for concern. The commander of the Center Gendarmerie Legion sounded this clarion call, urging the population who use CFA banknotes to remain vigilant and watch the quality.
Après avoir bu un ou deux verres, l'on est plus lucide pour vérifier si ce qu'on vous remet comme billet.
After one or two glasses of beer, we are now lucid to verify if what we are given, like banknotes, are authentic. Children going to school, it is easy to deceive them by the notes. Imagine mothers selling puff-puff by the roadside, difficult for them to verify whether this or that banknote is authentic. It is while at home that they notice there are authentic and counterfeit banknotes with her. During this period of political campaign and ambience, the vigilance should be intensified, as many profit from the excitement and carefree attitude around to spread and even change counterfeit banknotes.
Has called residents of the Northwest region of Cameroon, particularly those of Bamenda, not to reject ghost towns and lockdowns, saying it is an impediment to social and economic progress. Minister Atanga Nji, who arrived Bamenda yesterday evening, this morning, told recipients of humanitarian assistance as part of his official visit to the Northwest region of Cameroon. Sherifa Saleh has the details.
On the sidelines of the walking visit of the Minister of Territorial Administration to Bamenda, families of disabled, underprivileged, and commercial bike riders have October 3, 2025 been handed bags of rice and blankets within the framework of humanitarian assistance of his ministry. In addition, and to alleviate their plight, Paula Tanganji has announced a 1-month free fuel donation to bike riders.
Everything which is ghost has to do with evil and Lucifer. Don't associate yourself with anything which has to do with ghost. Ghost town, ghost, anything which is ghost is devil, and it is against Republican values.
I'm 80 years of age. It's more than my age. I'm very happy. So we really appreciate him and his members bringing the food and the blankets.
The courtyard of the Maizam Senior Divisional Officer's office was transformed into a campaign ground for President Paul Biya's bid for the October 12 presidential election. All 7 senior divisional officers and the 34 divisional officers of the Northwest region are expected to carry out similar institution exercises, which the Minat boss says is from President Paul Biya.
And still in political news, just a few days to the October 12 presidential election in Cameroon, a powerful message or call is coming from the Association of Women Jurists of Cameroon, alarmed by the recurrent electoral pattern violence. The association is taking proactive steps to engage citizens on the importance of tolerance and non-violence during this electoral period. Morendi with more.
Pre- and post-electoral violence, often marked by quarrels, tensions, physical confrontations, and verbal abuse, remains a major concern for the Association of Women Jurists of Cameroon. In anticipation of such unrest, the association is stepping up efforts to sensitize Cameroonians on the need for peace before, during, and after the October 12 presidential election.
We need people to be informed and be educated. Because election will pass, but Cameroon will remain a peaceful country. It's why we know that women are actors in the field. It's better that women try to say about peace, gather women and sensibilize that we have election, but peace is the best thing for our country.
Gathered during a roundtable conference on October 2, members of the association stressed the importance of finding and implementing concrete mechanisms to preserve peace at all stages of the electoral process, from pre-election activities to post-election reactions.
All of the women who were there, we have to tell them that during the election, after the election, Cameroon may be in peace.
The women are urging mothers and women, civil society organizations, religious leaders, and more everywhere to raise their voices in favor of peace and responsibility. They emphasize that the campaign period is often sensitive and prone to manipulation, making it all the more vital for women to play a frontline role in promoting tolerance, unity, and civil responsibility across communities.
Thank you so much, Morendi. Meantime, our Peace Building Association has teamed up with the Bike Riders Trade Union in Douala to promote non-violence and responsible behavior during this electoral period. So let's have the details with Sharifa Saleh.
With less than 2 weeks to go before Cameroonians head to the polls, efforts to maintain peace are ramping up across the country. In Douala, one of such initiatives is targeting a group known for its mobility and influence, motorbike riders. Given that bike riders are in a very sensitive sector, so we thought it wise to start with that sector to maintain and foster peace. Present was a delegation from the Ministry of Social Affairs highlighting the government's support for the initiative. Motorbike sector is a vital part of urban transport in Douala and many other cities in Cameroon, but they have also been linked to unrest in previous elections due to their rapid mobility and ability to gather large crowds. This gathering has eased the comprehension, and these bike riders have understood that they should avoid any form of political manipulation and avoid unnecessary problems. Many left the seminar promising to avoid any actions that could spark tension in the days leading up to the vote.
J'ai retenu beaucoup certaines choses en disant jouer notre rôle de bensikineur, éviter.
The main aim of this gathering is to let them know that they have to avoid any protest group during this electoral period and avoid following false information.
Suivre les fausses informations.
With the election countdown underway, civil society groups and government bodies alike are hoping such grassroots efforts will help ensure that voting takes place in an atmosphere of calm and civic responsibility.
That was Sherifa Saleh reporting there. And tactile devices or tactile jackets has been introduced for visually impaired voters to permit them vote during the upcoming presidential elections. Focus or training to train these visually impaired on the use of this device took place in Yaoundé. Beatrice Ngamo with more.
Before, voting was a routine to the visually impaired in Cameroon. Most of them do so because others are doing. The opportunity then was not equal, yet they loved exercising their civic responsibility.
And I would just come out from the polling station just smiling. But deep down in me, it was not as I wanted it to be. I was influenced, I was helped, and I wasn't sure about what I was doing.
The tactile jacket today by Elekam is seen as a move to encourage them further. They feel involved and satisfied to forge ahead. Imperative, therefore, for them to get a clear knowledge of how to go about the process.
The way blind people have received the tactile jacket is just clear indication that they were waiting for it. It is going to help us to be able to make our choices on our own.
Move after move, step after step, they capture the process in their heads. The ballot papers are numbered alphabetically according to the names of the 12 candidates, written on brailles on the ballot paper, and so on. Elekam officials had to make sure this group is not left behind. The objective of the training session for visually impaired persons this Friday, October 3 in Yaoundé.
Il peut choisir de manière autonome, sans assistance. D'un autre côté, son secret du vote est préservé.
Voting the hold is intimate. Nobody should get into their intimacy. And with this, they believe more and more of the blind will develop the interest to participate in elections. This comes to add to others like
accessibility in polling station with ramps and adapted layouts. You have also information campaign which are adapted with audio format, with specialists in sign language. You have also those specialists in sign language who will be on the 12th October in some police station.
Confirming that everyone as citizens of this country has the responsibility to register and exercise their right to vote, the people they want as leaders, and persons with disabilities, no exception.
And still in political news, the Cameroonian Front has taken to the streets of Douala to campaign for UDC presidential candidate Tomaino and Njoya. The women mobilized through markets in the city of Douala and the streets to urge voters to vote for the only female candidate in the upcoming presidential election. Let's have more with Morindi.
It was a street-level campaign with the first fifth tone this Friday, October 3. Ansake in Douala, the Cameroonian Front, a political ally of the UDC, brought vibrant energy as they echoed the voice of Emin Patricia Tomaino Njoya. At each fish market stall excitement rose as women rallied around a shared cause, expressing strong female solidarity.
Le Front camerounais a décidé de soutenir la candidature d'une femme, a décidé de soutenir la candidature de l'unique femme, Hermine Patricia Tomaino.
As October 12 approaches, many of these women hope to be part of history by electing the first female president of Cameroon.
Nous on voit le changement qu'une femme aussi monte, elle essaye aussi, on voit. Au moins on laisse aussi la chance aussi à la femme, on voit comment ça va se passer.
Tomaino Ndamjoya, 100%. Hermine Patricia Ndamjoya, the sole female candidate in this election, is scheduled to hold a major rally on Saturday, October 4 at South Fed Aqua in Douala.
Apart from campaign news, let's talk about the seaport of Douala that is celebrating 150 years of existence. As part of activities to mark the anniversary, a two-day colloquium has brought together historians, scholars and experts to discuss a platform to discuss about the decolonization of African and maritime history and a renewed vision for port development in the Central African sub-region. Let's have more in this report. On the banks of the Vuri River, the port of Douala Bonaberi remains the economic lifeline of Cameroon, handling nearly 95% of the nation's maritime trade. This week, its history took center stage under the theme A River, a Territory, a Port, a History, a Future. The colloquium gathered multidisciplinary voices to reflect on the evolution of maritime activity in Cameroon and its future.
Il constitue une étape charnière où la mémoire, la science et la prospective s'entrelacent pour éclairer l'avenir d'un port qui demeure le cœur battant de l'économie nationale et un carrefour vital pour l'Afrique centrale.
Renowned historian Prince Kumandumbe challenged the official narrative, arguing that port activities in the region date back over 500 years, long before German colonization in 1875. He called for a decolonized retelling of Cameroon's maritime past, quoting from his book on German rule.
Our wishes is that white men should not go up and trade with the Bushmen. Nothing to do with our markets. They must stay here in this river and then give us the trust so that we will trade with our bushmen. We need our duty and custom house in our country.
The historian also urged academic institutions to restore the erased memory of transatlantic slave trade and revive knowledge of indigenous port systems. But the discussions also looked ahead. Experts stressed the need for a rigorous scientific and inclusive approach to modern port challenges.
Les défis auxquels fait face le port de Douala-Bonaberi, qu'il s'agisse de la digitalisation des procédures, de la relever sans une approche scientifique rigoureuse et pluridisciplinaire.
To build a resilient and competitive port for the future, Cameroon must therefore reclaim and understand its full maritime past. That's how we saw it for the 6:15 primetime newscast in the English language on Canal International. It is a pleasure knowing you are watching, but don't go away because we have other editions of the news. We shall be us again next week, same time, God willing. But up next is Electoral Day campaign news program with Lil Piju. Have a wonderful weekend.